Take the sentence, I love you. Love symbolizes a feeling more profound than like, but switch it out as a desire. And warmth is now turned into longing. No wall of signal or body gesture could ever convey the subtle nuance with such efficiency as the human language. Now, imagine a world without the unique ability to say it. Your lips are trapped in a vacuum of silence, always listening to the buzzing sound of the words scattered around you, but unable to tell anyone whether you liked, loved, or desired them. This is a condition called stuttering, where forming even a single sentence becomes a battle. The National Institute on Communication Disorders defines stuttering as the repetition of sounds, syllables, or words. This means the prolongation of sounds, the interruptions in speech, or a combination of these three. It is quite a silent struggle, affecting only 5 to 10 out of 100 people throughout their lifetime, with up to 90% losing their stuttering as they grow out of childhood. Ultimately, less than 1% of the population around the globe is diagnosed with stuttering and has persisted until adulthood. Luckily, I too was part of that 1%. Stuttering has shaped me profoundly, teaching me the value of the human language and how painful it is to be denied the opportunity to speak freely. But through overcoming my stutter, I've learned something more important, that I needed to find meaning not just in the words, but also in the spaces between them. Today, I want to share a story of how stuttering grew into me and how I eventually overcame this speech impediment. My stuttering began 5 years ago when I was in 6th grade. It didn't start with an immediate stumble or stabbing. It started with something smaller. A split second of hesitation where a word refused to form. Then the fracture grew. Friends mocked me, parents worried, and teachers expressed concern about my future. There was this moment when a friend of mine talked behind me in the locker room, mocking the way I spoke, repeating the same words over and over and over again. Seeing someone I trusted after my struggle was more than heartbreaking. It was devastating, exposing the insecurity and pain that stuttering has brought me. Following this incident, I hesitated to speak, fearing the words won't come out. Group discussions, in particular, became a nightmare. I couldn't get through a phrase quickly enough or voice complex thoughts before conversations moved on. Things became even worse when COVID-19 emerged, as opportunities for verbal interaction for the vibrant middle schoolers became concealed behind stuffy surgical masks. So, I started planning my sentences ahead of time. Which words could I trip over? Could I swap them out for synonyms? And then, the worst realization of all. I was not choosing my words based on what I wanted to say. I was choosing my words based on what I could say. Language was supposed to be a vehicle of communication and empowerment, but here I was, diluting my words into half meanings. The shame of stuttering isn't internal, it's reinforced. One of my middle school teachers urged me to speak faster, looking frustrated whenever I stumbled over my words during online classes. Well, the fact that I wasn't quick enough made me question my ability to understand and articulate ideas. So I skipped over parts of lessons I didn't understand, became afraid to ask questions or to voice my thoughts. But why is there such urgency to speak, to act, to achieve? Why is silence mistaken for incompetence? Well, the answer lies in hypercompetition, the relentless pursuit of achievement and superiority where we look down on those who fall behind. As a student in Korea, I see this every single day. Hypercompetition dictates our education system, where middle schoolers often master advanced level material like calculus before they master self-worth. Korean convenience stores and restaurants are designed to provide services as quickly and immediately as possible through digital kiosks and 24-hour shifts. The Lotte World Tower, the tallest building in Korea, was completed in just 6 years. Our road is so efficient, like how humans can dedicate just a few words to mean what other animals can never express. I think this has much to do with South Korea's history. This country has experienced one of the largest economic transformations in the past 60 years. It started as an agriculture-based economy in the 1960s, but by 2016, it grew to be the 11th largest economy in the world in terms of GDP. To grow at such an unprecedented scale, Koreans have to be at work like clockwork, print out one innovation after another, and cut out any white space. And this has fundamentally changed human communication and interaction. Through short tweets, Facebook statuses, and Instagram stories, messages are packaged in simple but powerful formats, enabling direct and efficient communication. Just like Henry Ford revolutionized the factory system to create a Model T in just 2.5 hours, we constantly compact our words for maximum efficiency, and we demand the same from others. Such hypercompetition becomes a crucial psychological cause of stuttering. There are actually two main branches of stuttering, one caused by nature and the other by nurture. For me, it's the latter. While the causes of stuttering remain underexplored, one prominent factor that is prevalent among all stuttering patients, according to the National Library of Medicine, is pressure. Pressure can come from many sources. For instance, pressure from your parents to complete your homework, pressure from your teachers to respond to his or her question, or even worse, pressure from the non-existing expectations that you have to be perfect in order to satisfy the current society. In a society and a world where hypercompetition is praised and valued, the pressure we embrace becomes overwhelming. For people like me who suffer from stuttering, the problem persists and worsens day by day. As hypercompetition exacerbates stuttering, it has also fueled a deeper, more universal issue, the fear of replacement. In a world where even the closest friends become competitors for college admissions, vocational success, and more, we fear our flaws. According to Forbes, 2024 saw the highest job cuts in 50 years from US-based companies, mostly due to the post-pandemic economy and technological advancements. I fear that stuttering will disadvantage me in college admissions and job interviews because, according to society, success looks like confident presentation and the ability to fit in 3 SAT words within a single uttered sentence. In fact, studies have shown that 85% of employers agree that stuttering decreases a person's employability and opportunities for promotion. So, we compete to secure a place at the top as quickly as possible. As a result, the more the people with stuttering try to speak faster and better, the more they will stutter, reinforcing this negative cycle. For the longest time, I avoided speaking entirely, choosing silence over the fear of stuttering in front of others. Eventually, I realized that avoiding my voice meant avoiding fixing the roots of stuttering. So I began to accept that stuttering isn't something to be ashamed of. It was simply a part of who I was. Accepting it gave me the courage to start speaking, no matter how imperfectly, and to face situations that once terrified me. In geography, there's a concept called an antipode, referring to 2 points on Earth that are diametrically opposite from each other. Now, imagine leaving your fear behind at your current location and traveling to the fear's antipode, the farthest place you could reach. Standing there, you're as far as possible from the fears that you seek to escape. Yet, in this place, you can't move forward, backward, or sideways, because any step in any direction will bring you closer to the fears you sought to escape. Moving forward might mean facing daunting responsibilities. Stepping back might uncover old, painful memories. And even a sidestep might expose you to the judgment of others. This leads us to an important realization. Fears are a part of us, and no matter how far we run or where we hide, they'll generally find a way back to us to remind us of what we need to face. So, instead of silencing them, what if you pursue the effort to face them head on? What if you, instead of hoping that your fears will fade, you take a moment to accept and understand them? Facing our fears, whether it's something as personal as stuttering, or as universally intimidating as competition, isn't about erasing them. It's about acknowledging their presence and recognizing that our fears and vulnerabilities are the very things that can guide us to profound personal growth. Ironically, acknowledging that you can't escape your fears by moving forward or sideways is the only way of escaping it, because you learn that if you're stuck in an antipode, you must go up. I shifted to learning techniques to mitigate my stutter, from controlled breathing to singing the words out instead of speaking it out. I tried dozens and hundreds of methods. Each one required steady patience. But not every technique worked. The process taught me resilience and gave me the tools to express myself with greater confidence, even during challenging moments such as a public speaking class. Another way that people could support those with stuttering is by showing love. As an individual, for those who have speech delays, one small change can make a huge difference. For instance, giving that person maybe just one more second of patience, showing that person maybe just one more act of kindness, and perhaps maybe just one more time of saying, "It's okay, take your time," will indeed make a huge difference. Fortunately, I was able to meet someone who guided my path through love. She patiently stayed with me through my struggles and made me feel valued. Her love made me overcome my stutter. Eventually, I realized that my stuttering began to fade. It wasn't until my brother pointed out that I had stopped stuttering as much that I realized the change. That day, I felt a mix of relief and unfamiliarity. I wasn't quite used to this new version of myself, but I was floating, rising above my antipode and drifting away from my fears. So today, I ask you all to take a pause. What if we stop measuring intelligence and success in words per minute? We struggle to keep up with the unrelenting pace of a world obsessed with speed, achievement, and perfection. We confront moments that stir insecurities. For some, it might be the pressure and the force for our parents to marry from hectic, overzealous parents. For others, it might be the academic concerns and the overwhelming burdens of exams. For me, it's stuttering. While stuttering may seem like a speech delay or a disability that taints an individual's self-expression, I see it as a reminder, in every pause and restart, that our life doesn't always have to move at full speed. By embracing our fears, by learning to embrace our fears, confront our fears, and eventually overcome our fears, we gain a renewed sense of resilience. Stuttering shows us that slowing down doesn't signify weakness. In fact, it deepens our connections, fosters empathy, and ultimately makes us more human. Instead of choosing a culture where we are forced to discard anything that doesn't rhyme with speed and competence, we can foster a more balanced and human world. Chase success, but also well-being. Chase boldness, but also cautious little pauses. Most importantly, tell the people you value that you like them, despite their perceived flaws. Start using the unique ability of communication to its fullest capacity. After all, human language is marvelous. Thank you.